watch out now. It's the little one and it's not Bow Wow. Yeah, what it do is Swipe in the house. Talking about that sampling. If hip hop was started on sampling, where is hip hop gonna go if we don't continue to sample? If R&B artists stop making music with live instrumentation, where will we go? I heard Pimp C say that one time. He was like, what's gonna happen if these R&B singers stop making live music or making music with these live instruments? Well, I guess hip-hop has evolved so much that we don't need the samples anymore. Psych, because they still need it. They sample records other than R&B now. They sample, well, they been sampling rock and all of that, but they're sampling other genres of music because maybe because they didn't used up all of the R&B and they're looking for new ideas. So, but will it still be hip hop? I guess so, because they're rapping and, you know, you can still add some of the old elements without samples to it. But I like samples. I'm not going to use samples because I do not want to pay. And music is a business and you want to make money. And it will be hard to make money on hit songs when you have 5 and 6 people getting paid on the damn record. It's only 100% in a record. And, you know, the less hands in it, the better. So yeah, man, I mean, I like sampling and shit. You know, I still sample. But it didn't came to a point because of the laws. And see, I didn't start making music until, you know, like all of these laws were established and all of that. Like this whole foundation of this music shit was already laid the fuck down. You know what I'm saying? By the time I came around. But since I'm here, you know, I'm indulging in every aspect of the shit. I'm indulging in making original music. I'm indulging in fucking with samples. You know, I'm indulging in all of it because it's here to be indulged in. But I love sampling. But I also love creating my own shit because you have to have some type of identity. And in the 90s, a lot of producers were like sample producers, like a DJ Premier or a motherfucking RZA, you know. More so a DJ Premier because it's all samples. It's no keyboards, you know what I'm saying? It's all fucking samples. Or maybe they use the keyboard for like the bass lines or some shit like that. But it's 95% sample bass beats. And that was like the New York thing, you know. And the West Coast did samples too. But see, okay, now let me explain this. You know what I'm saying? When the East Coast did samples, like sampling the record, they'd take a piece of the record and loop it, or, you know, manipulate whatever part of the record and just play it throughout the song on top of some drums. Then the West Coast, I'm just gonna say Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre came and started replaying the fucking sample. So instead of just sampling part of that George Clinton, the Parliament Funkadelic song, he would just replay that motherfucker. So the sample went from just sampling the record to replaying the whole motherfucker and creating a brand new vibe with the damn sample. Which when you sample the record, the actual record, you create a new vibe too. But you creating an even more vibrant vibe when you replay that shit. You know what I'm saying? Then niggas in the Midwest, they sample everywhere. But I would not say that it's predominant in fucking the Midwest. I would say more original music is predominant in the Midwest. And in the South, we sample. But it's not like New York. New York has evolved because New York probably today, they probably not like 100% fucking sample based, but they still abide by those rules because that's New York. I mean, that's they fucking sound, and it sounds good. The boom bap is sample based fucking music, and that's like the indigenous New York hip hop sound, the boom bap. Now they have all other, forms of it in New York, but the boom bap is like the staple hip hop shit. Okay. Down in the South, we sample a little bit, but we play that shit over. You know what I'm saying? It's not a lot of loops, like sample loops. It's more so taking after the West Coast and replaying them motherfucking samples, like interpolation and shit like that, and replaying them fucking samples, man, because it's a whole different vibe when you replay a sample versus just sampling it and looping a sample. Now looping a hell of a sample is dope too. They both go hand in hand. So I'm not trying to say one is better than the other, because they both good. But it's becoming a lost art because the laws and the money. It's a hustle. Excuse me. It's a hustle right now. Music is a hustle for a lot of people. It is more of a hustle now than it has ever been, especially for black people. Man, niggas is jumping in this game and they getting money and they hustling. So if you looking at the music business as the business that it is, you want to maximize your dollars, and you don't want to sample no record to where somebody is gonna automatically have their hand in your pocket soon as you get $1, they getting half of it. You don't want that. So it's like, boom, we have to make original music. And when Earth, Wind, and Fire created that music, their music, after they created it, it was dead. So to be 100% honest and real, sample music is dead music. If you want to be real, it's dead because it has already lived. That's the real reason why the musicians were upset about rappers sampling their music. They didn't know it. They always based it on, you should be original, do your own thing. But really what they were saying is, hey guys, don't sample this and do that because this music is dead. You guys should create your own music and run with that. And I agree with both parties. Nigga, nope, I'm gonna sample your shit and I'm gonna create my shit. Even though sample music is dead music, somehow the shit is still good. The shit is still good. The musicians who played on those old records, they put their heart and their soul into playing. So when you sample it, you're sampling the part that they put their foot in on it. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that you are sampling. The best part. That's the part that got all of everything they went through at that moment in it. That guitar riff that you sampling, man, that nigga put his heart, soul, and everything into that shit. So it's really dead though. There's no life in it. It's dead. It can't go no further than that. It's just dead. But when you create something, it has life, and it can go as far as you want it to go, or whatever it's destined to go. But we need new ideas with, I ain't gonna say old rules, but remembering the past, creating a new, but remembering the past, not forgetting where the fuck we come from. As hip-hop artists and rap artists, country rap tune artists or whatever we are, just we artists at the end of the day. But I love rap, I don't love what's going on in it, but who loves everything about anything? You're gonna have some things you like and dislike about everything. So, it's just like, hey man, you gotta figure out a balance with the shit. But what the hell we gonna do when samples gone, man? It's kind of like gone now. What the hell are we gonna do? Create new music. But we have to create new music and wait for further generations to come sample us. But guess what? Those guys may not be sampling. Who knows what the motherfuckers in the future will be doing? So I think we should capitalize on sampling now. We should sample a bunch of goddamn records. But if you're going to put a sample record out, you do have to get it cleared. Or if you put it out and don't get it cleared and it becomes a hit, they going to come in and they can dictate whatever the fuck they want. They could just take all of your publishing and you get no money off of the record because you didn't get it cleared. But, you know, man, long story short with that shit, man, we got to remember the lost art because, hey, man, this shit would be dead. Shit'll be dead in a minute. You know what I'm saying? And then they got all these computer programs that make it so easy to make music that, hell, man, it's so easy to make a beat, I don't have to fucking sample. But, when hip-hop first started, sampling was very creative. You know, it was so creative. Shout out to Marley Marl, man. Marley Marl. You got to give credit where credit is due. You know what I'm saying? And it take pioneers like him, you know, and all the forefathers of hip-hop to really put their stamp in on it and push things forward so everybody else can benefit from it. You know, all of Marley Marl's time and efforts into sampling and learning and figuring this out and tweaking this and tweaking that, and all of that paid off for me. So when I come along, you know, all of this stuff is here for me. All of this research has been done and all of these questions have been answered. But it's my job to start answering the questions that aren't answered in today's time. So the motherfuckers that come after me, I have some answered questions to these problems. Yeah, but I mean, do we still call it hip hop because it's not sample based? It just become rap music now? I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know, especially if hip-hop started on sampling. If it started on sampling, but then it's not sampled no more, I mean, is it still hip-hop? We still calling it hip-hop, but is it hip-hop? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. It's still jamming like hip-hop, but it's still hip-hop. We just have to make original music. You can name shit whatever the fuck you want to, but it's rap at the end of the day. Hip-hop, rap, same shit, you know. Nobody is break dancing and shit and, you know, breaking on fucking cardboard. But, doing graffiti. They still doing graffiti, though. Not as abundant, you know, and not as calculated as it was, but motherfuckers is still doing it. The culture still goes on. The shit still goes on. Shit gets no weaker or thicker. Yeah, man. So yeah, like I'm saying, it's going down in the world. And when I say going down, meaning the likeliness of sample-based music for the future is not highly. It's highly unlikely because of the money. It's not lucrative to sample. It's lucrative to make your own music. But I love sample-based music, so maybe I just make my own sample music and don't put it out. Because you can't let the art die. You know? And it's more to sampling than just looping some shit. You know what I'm saying? That ain't all this shit is. Go listen to a Public Enemy record if you think sampling is just looping some shit. Or go listen to a Rakim record. You know what I'm saying? Go listen to that shit because Those guys were pioneers sampling. They were very creative. They were technicians and musicians and mathematicians, because you had to learn how to work that fucking equipment. Marley Marl said the first sampler he ever seen was La Fahrenheit. I could be pronouncing the shit wrong, but he didn't own it. It was at the radio station. He worked at WBLS, and the shit was $100,000. What nigga was buying a fucking sampler for $100,000 in that time? You know what I'm saying? Nobody. And he had to sit there and learn. You know what I'm saying? He was the pioneer for a lot of this sample shit. A lot of this sample shit. I'm gonna say he the pioneer of sampling. He is the pioneer. He created this shit. So, yeah, man. It's a lost art, but we appreciate the art because we continue to practice the art. But as far as putting the art out for the world, maybe not, unless we get it cleared. You know, there's nothing wrong with sampling if you get it cleared. No more renegade shit, though. But yeah, we out of here. Swipe.